I am recording.
Get ready for some live News AF here on November 17, 2020.
Yeah, I'm going to pee real quick, actually. You keep the viewers at bay.
You don't just pee into a jar under your table?
I don't have a jar because I didn't think I would need one because I gave myself enough time, but then I didn't, I guess.
Go get it done.
Okay. All right.
Don't listen to me.
Here, we can take Tyson off. Okay. Danny, what's going on that I feel like that, so many of the listeners, I feel like, are so curious about what goes on when we're not doing the podcast in your world.
Oh, in my world.
Yes.
Probably because my world is very atypical.
This is like our one hour of insight into your week.
Yeah, and I really don't go through the week very thoroughly. I mean, there's always things starting up, stopping. Like I mentioned, helicopter school. Mm-hmm. So I went back to flight school. I had the chance to go to Alaska today, but I turned it down, so I could be at this podcast.
Yeah, that was the option. Go to Alaska or do the podcast?
Go to Alaska, on a jet or do the podcast. No, I also had to stay back for helicopter school too. Mm-hmm. And then my job's wrapping up. I just found out that my truck it'll cost half the purchase price of my truck to get it repaired because my insurance expired, unbeknownst to me, a month before.
Is this about when you hit the deer?
Yeah. It's an $8,500 repair. I paid $15,500 for the truck.
Yeah.
I can still drive it. I can still drive the truck. How does it cost that much to repair something when almost 85% of it is all still intact and I can drive it?
Yeah.
It's all cosmetic. So I'm thinking maybe I could fix this in my garage, but I've looked into enough people's garages to know that those things can go on forever. Mm-hmm. They got the guy who's got the car.
Why are you looking into people's garages?
I always do. I'm fascinated by people's garages.
Yeah. What does it say about a person in their garage?
Well, one thing that I can't stand is someone who has a garage that's filled with garbage and not their car. So right away, if I look into your garage and your car's not in there, I'm judging you so hard. Because garages are for cars, not for your extra stuff that you'll never look at or touch for years.
Tyson, do you keep a car in your garage?
I keep 2 cars in my garage.
Boom. Whoa. We're friends now.
I don't keep a car in my garage.
And we only have a 2-car garage.
Filled with stuff, Rob?
Yeah. No, so it's filled with my workout stuff.
Okay, that's different.
It's not just piled up with with garbage.
It's still usable space. That's okay. The workout gym is acceptable in my eyes.
Now I feel guilty. I should be backing a car out and having a gym in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not too late.
Caught me. I'm a lazy piece of shit.
Okay.
Whoa.
Well, I am. We're not live yet, right?
We're live, but
we're live. Everyone heard that.
The podcast. Okay.
Yeah, this is the podcast.
All right. Here we go. Let's get into it for some News AF. All right.
I like your shirt, Rob.
Thank you. That's how it's Tuesday.
Yep.
I almost wore mine.
And I'm wearing Pickleball in Life. Danny went with Rob's old attire, dated. It's dated now.
Hey, there
you go.
Still nighttime attire. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
This is a daytime podcast. All right, here we go. Hey, everybody, what's going on? I'm Rob Cesternino back again to talk with you about the week's most interesting news stories for the week of November 17th, 2020 here on News AF.
If the story is buzzing like it's on crystal meth, it's about to be News AF. If the same old news makes you bored to death, it's time for some News AF. Actual, factual news.
All right, we are back once again with our News AF team. AF stands for Actual Factual News. That's what we are here to provide for you. And here is a man who has been delivering the actual factual news for over 5 years running. He is Pickleball's #1 influencer. Please welcome Tyson Apostol.
Whoop, whoop. Oh, man, it feels good to maintain my #1 spot as the pickleball influencer in the world. And also, over 5 years. Can you believe that we've been doing this for over 5 years?
Yeah.
Rob, can you? Rob probably can. Danny, can you? Have you ever stuck with anything for 5 years? It's ridiculous.
My marriage.
Barely. And also, I guess exercising. So you have 2 things that you've stuck with for 5 years. One of them is still going strong. And Rob,
Yes.
you probably, everything you do in your life has been longer than 5 years.
Feels like it. Yeah, at this point. Sure.
So, but still, that is I mean, they always say that if you do something you love, you have never worked a day in your life.
That's right. That's right. Also, here with us today is a man who is celebrating National Take a Hike Day today. Here is Danny Bryson.
Is that really what day it is?
Yeah.
And is it like go on a real hike, or is it like take a hike?
Take a hike. Get out of here. Yeah,
sounded aggressive.
Yeah, you have to insult somebody with that today. No,
Okay.
it's a National Take a Hike Day. You should head to a nearby trail.
I was on a trail this morning.
I'll go on a trail later if you guys want.
Guys,
me to.
if you want to know if I've exercised or not, you're making fun of me for the hair. So this hair is because I've already exercised today, and because one of the biggest complaints in my marriage is that I never comb my hair. So this is to make my wife happy. A great
marriage, then,
so that I can keep that that
5-year streak going.
Yeah, greater than a 5-year streak going. So these are the things I do to keep that streak.
So you're saying if you hadn't exercised, your haircut wouldn't be as bad?
No, I'd be wearing a hat.
Oh, okay.
Because I hadn't showered.
You do look good though. Like I feel like, we got Rob here. You can tell that he is a career podcaster. He's got the facial hair.
What does that mean?
He's wearing a t-shirt.
Tyson's on fire this morning.
Yes.
Coming in hot.
He's slinging insults in all direction.
You got me over here who you could tell I have no clue which direction my life is going or has ever gone. And then you got Daddy, who's all of a sudden grown up like in the last week to just be like respectable and responsible. And like, if I were like, let's say that I didn't have a father and let's say I didn't have a father and I'm like, dude, I need some like financial advice, maybe a little relationship advice, and maybe even ask somebody for some money. Danny right now is, I feel like just based on looks alone, would be a guy I would approach and be like, excuse me, good sir, could I trouble you for some financial advice? Should I put all of my extra money in a CD, in a money market, in some type of money management system? What should I do? And I would fully expect an honest answer.
Well, it's all a facade, and then we could mark your downfall from that conversation. It'd be very easy to be like, this is where it all went wrong. You went to this well-groomed individual to ask for advice based on looks alone. And next thing we know, Tyson's spiraling. He's got all his money into Bitcoin or who knows.
Yeah. Fancy Bebe says, Danny could tell you how to fix a leaky faucet.
Yeah, he for sure could. That's the stuff that, like, look at, he's like the jack of all trades dad now, where it's like, and he was talking about this earlier, where it's like, oh, wrecked your car, no problem. I'll fix it myself using YouTube and some tools that my father-in-law gave me for Christmas.
Yeah. Probably. YouTube is great.
Yeah.
We don't even need universities anymore. We have YouTube.
Yeah, that's not a new idea. That's for sure.
I know.
Yeah.
Instead of going to college, you think if you sat in front of YouTube for 4 years, you would walk away smarter.
Correct.
Well, hold on. You would definitely know a lot more, but in order to be smart, you would have to be disciplined.
Yeah.
It's just so easy to go down.
You would definitely be ready for a podcast appearance on the Joe Rogan podcast.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Totally.
Listen to me. I stopped learning anything from structured education in like my sophomore year of high school. Everything since then I've learned either through life experience or on TV.
Or YouTube.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Multimedia in general.
Let me just say this. YouTube got me through math. When I went back to college, I started off at like math 95, which is
you don't even get credit for that.
11-year-old. I don't even get credit for it.
Yeah.
And it was YouTube that got me all the way up through whatever it is I needed to graduate.
Yeah, when you say when you went back to college, you're talking about helping your kids with their homework, or you went back to school?
I went back.
He quit school and then went back because he didn't go on Survivor.
Well, also as a condition of my marriage, my wife, my father-in-law made it one of the Yeah, he demands, I guess. I didn't get a dowry in return or anything, but I had to get a degree. So gave him something. Then when I got the degree, I threw it at my wife and said, go send that to your dad.
And you guys are still married, right?
Yeah.
Happily.
Happily. Very happily.
Good.
Because of the degree.
Yeah.
Really
The degree. Well, Rob has a degree too, right, Rob?
I do have a degree. It is only from a state school, though.
Oh, is it accredited at least?
I mean, yeah, I guess so. I don't really know what that means.
Me neither.
I think it is.
Accredited.
Yeah.
It's just something you ask when somebody tells you the school they go to, especially if it's in a questionable school where it's like, yeah, well, where'd you go to school? I went to Owl Peaks
University of Phoenix.
Owl Peaks University / college. And you're like, is that a backslash? And they're like, yeah, it's a backslash. And you're like, is that accredited? And they're like, no, none of those credits would transfer anywhere.
Is that what accredited means? Is that the credits transfer to other places?
You can
That
credit.
sounds good.
Yeah, I think that is part of it. I don't know if that's all of it, is that you can transfer your credits. So an unaccredited school, you usually can't transfer those credits somewhere else, and you have to stick with that school till it's ride or die time or start over somewhere else, you know?
It's like Monopoly bucks.
Yeah.
Wow.
They only work within the game.
Exactly. But at the end, you do have a degree. It's just like, if somebody ever's like, oh, is that accredited?
It's a degree with an asterisk.
You're like, yeah, no, that's not accredited, but that's why I'm a doctor in the Caribbean instead of in the United States.
They need doctors there too.
Yeah,
They sure do.
And they still call you doctor.
Yeah. Well, I mean, by law, I think you have to tell them it's from an unaccredited university.
Yeah. Okay. You ready to talk about some of this week's top stories? Danny, we were talking about this before. Porch Pirate season is here as all of the online retailers are ramping up. Black Friday deals are headed your way. And it's time also for the Porch Pirates to set sail.
We've discussed this a lot.
Oh, the Porch Pirates. Okay,
yeah.
those are the guys that steal packages?
Yeah.
We talked about
we
talked about some great porch theft
Pirating?
techniques. Yeah, remember we were talking about a story where you could defend your porch from pirates, and we actually did bring up lots of solutions. And people have done it in the past. They've rigged up packages, like fake packages. They've put glitter bombs in packages, although that whole thing might have been.
What about like a scarecrow in a rocking chair? Like just leave the Halloween one, but dress it like a regular person instead of like a scarecrow.
Can you direct Amazon to put the packages in the lap of the scarecrow?
Oh, actually, that's what we talked about. People with Amazon doors. Remember? We talked about
the Amazon garage door.
Yeah, the Amazon door at houses.
Yeah, or the Amazon house if you just want to buy the house next door.
Yeah, for the real rich people. So what's the story about, Rob?
Right. So a South Carolina man was arrested that he was accused of being a porch pirate. He was saying that he was innocent, but then he ended up coming to his court hearing wearing the same shirt that he wore in the video where people saw him stealing the packages.
So easy.
So many things to be embarrassed about.
No, I don't think so. This is easy. This guy is like, okay, I'm going to go out and steal some packages today. I got to look at least presentable so that when I'm out stealing packages, people don't question why I'm on some of the neighbor's front porch. So he's walking around like, do, I'm official looking. I've got this shirt on. Grab the package in, put it in my car. No problem. It gives him confidence. People don't question him because he's dressed to the nines, probably with whatever shirt he's got on. Then court date comes. Historically, what are you supposed to wear to court?
He's only got one nice shirt,
and
the one he's been wearing to steal the packages.
Exactly. And none of the packages had a nicer shirt in them, which is maybe all he was looking for.
Maybe it's a lucky shirt.
Maybe it's a lucky shirt too.
Yeah. Lucky when I found all these packages, and then I'm going to be lucky in my court case.
I found all these packages just lying around on somebody's porch.
Smart, Tyson. I think that's exactly what happened. He wore his nicest clothing to steal packages, and then when he went to court, he only had one nice outfit, and it was the one he was using, and
He didn't think about that. He just
incriminated
was like, I
him.
gotta look good. Yeah. And maybe the fit is perfect on the shirt. We don't know exactly why he chose, but I'm certain it is along those lines.
I think about when we do this podcast and when I do some of my other stuff, I'm like, have I already worn this before? And it's kind of hard to keep track of outfits, especially if you're stealing every single day.
The answer is always yes, especially for me. Like I'll do like multiple Zoom and other calls, and I'll have the same shirt on for like 2 days and be like, this is what they got. If anybody pieces it all together, I've got, they'll know that I've worn this shirt like 3 days in a row.
Yeah.
But I mean, to my credit, I only own like 600 shirts. So why would I?
At least 2 years worth of videos and different shirts.
And I could throw them all away when I'm done. But instead, I keep 2 or 3 shirts on top of the 600 and rotate those.
There should be a warning to other thieves, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe wear coveralls. Those are good. And you're not going to wear those to court. You know, like some official coveralls, got a clipboard, a hat. And now you know you're not going to mix that up with your courtroom outfit.
That's right.
Which you definitely have if you're stealing packages.
Danny, do you think that maybe some of the Porch Pirates need some sort of like super villain alter ego of that, like the Riddler, of basically like have some sort of like a package stealing costume, but then also then have a completely different look and personality for if they have to go to a court date?
No, because if you have a very distinct look, they find that look in your car and it's a slam dunk case. Because now, you know, all you're doing is you're making it easier to identify you as the criminal doing everything. It's like leaving your trademark in Home Alone. You know, he turns on the
wet
sink.
bandit.
The wet bandit. And now they can connect him to everything else and track all his movements. So
guys, I just had an awesome Christmas idea.
Yeah.
So starting now, take any package that has your wife's name on it from the doorstep before she can get to it and hide it. And then present them all to her on Christmas morning.
Oh, that's good.
All those packages you thought were stolen,
here they are.
Happy Christmas.
Merry Christmas. She'll be so excited as long as you can convince her not to rebuy the stuff, because she'll just be in a battle with Amazon in and out of court for the next like 6 weeks until Christmas hits. And then when Christmas hits, be like, surprise, honey, this is the cheapest Christmas I've ever created.
Yeah, that's a beautiful story, Tyson. That it's like they could write a song about it where ultimately the Porch Pirate was me.
Yeah. See?
Surprise.
I love it. I think
it was you the whole time.
But then you have to erase all your camera.
No, you don't. You can just wear a costume, or hire somebody. Just be like, hey, come over, you're a few doors down. Nobody knows their neighbors anymore. Just come grab the package, hand it to me around the back.
What if that gives them a taste for the, crime?
Dude. And they get like that adrenaline pumping. Yeah. And they're just like,
there's a package over there.
I don't need to take it, but I want to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Winona Ryder and shoplifting.
She just loved it. That's how it started. Some person was like, you know what? Look at whatever you want and just take it. I'm going to go into the back of your room. And she felt like, oh, wow. That was easy. Next thing she knows, she's on Stranger Things.
Okay. If you're really concerned about warding off the Porch Pirates, maybe you might want to consider what a Florida military base is doing. They are going to start having the Boston Dynamics robot dog patrolling their base starting in early next year. By February 2021. They expect a squadron of 4 robo dogs to be placed around the perimeter where they can
foursome
roam on
is
their
not
own.
a squadron.
I love it.
Not a squadron?
No, they can. No, listen. This is the great thing. You know how every group of animals has a different name? You know, like they get to name the group of robot dogs, and they've chosen
they're the
squadron.
first owners.
Yeah.
Instead of just a pack.
Yeah.
I think I would have stuck with nature and gone with a pack, because I think that's even more hilarious. Just a pack of robot dogs, but they're not a wild pack. They're an organized pack. The thing with squadrons, though, is they can run a formation, unlike a pack of dogs. So you could be like diamond formation, flying V. That's why you need at least like 6 to 10 of them to be a full squadron, I think.
I call them a circuit of dogs.
A circuit?
Yeah.
What would you go with, Rob?
Pack? We do that
gaggle.
pack?
Yeah. I wanted pack too. So,
Guys,
yeah.
this is the future. Why are we sticking to old, ancient terms? We can be making up new ones.
You can't
That's
just
the thing about
abandon.
this
You just
exciting
can't
world.
abandon history, bro, and our roots.
This isn't a biological. These aren't biological. These are different. These are.
You don't think in the
our
future
own
they'll be like,
creation.
where did robot dogs come from? And it's like,
Yeah.
well, a long time ago, there was actually wolves, and those were like biologically like a real thing.
Yeah.
And then we bred those selectively to create the most complacent dog in the world. And then from that, we structured this Boston Dynamics, which can be wild like a wolf if you program it to, but it can also be complacent if you program it to.
Danny, I just don't think a circuit is an apt comparison. A circuit almost implies like if one dog goes down, the whole network of dog goes down.
Maybe that's how they work. Maybe
they could work like that. You got to get the queen.
A net of dogs, a mesh of dogs. Either way, I really like this idea. This is the perfect application to start the apocalypse. You know,
you think this is what's going to jumpstart it all?
Skynet's beginning to churn.
Yeah. The drone dogs are actually not from Boston Dynamics. They're from Pennsylvania Ghost Robotics. That sounds terrifying.
Yeah, and also,
so they have a different accent, probably, huh?
Yeah.
It's a pretty big ripoff if you look at them. They're basically Boston Dynamic dogs.
Yeah,
are they
totally
cheaper?
Maybe.
They're $100,000 a dog.
$100,000 a dog?
Yeah.
For which one? Both?
For these.
That's why I get rescue robot dogs.
Yeah, I always go to the shelter, and that way you're doing like a good deed because you're taking something out of the shelter that would otherwise get destroyed and
used for parts.
Exactly. Yep. Smart, Rob.
So these dogs actually, they don't bite, but this is the part that confused me. If someone attempts to steal or harm the robot, a defense mechanism is triggered that will hurt the predator. Tyson, what does that mean?
Solid
shock?
Dude, that is great. Read the sentence one more time, please.
Okay. While the not so furry sentries, that's a good word for them, Danny, they won't bite. If someone attempts to steal or otherwise harm the robot, a defense mechanism is triggered that will hurt the predator.
I think spinning hammers. It just like, and that's it. Then
I was going to say saw blades.
No, I think it can't cut. I think you just blunt force trauma is what it's going for, I think. Or it just like ramming speed, boop, and it like rams you with its robot head or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Danny's like a deli meat slicer.
Pops
up
from my gosh.
Yeah.
Out of all the surfaces, a thin blade emerges, spinning at like 10,000 RPM, slicing off digits.
A sonic blast, boom, and then it just like catapults you.
You
like
dump yourself, and it runs
100 yards away.
Yeah, you can't run because there's a dump in your pants.
It's sonic blast, so it's just like your nose is just like bleeding. You've dumped your pants, you're vomiting, and you got ear goo coming out your ears.
That would be awesome, by the way, non-lethal. If you had a weapon like that, when you take over entire countries by making everybody dump their pants. Once you've dumped your pants, you're useless on the battlefield.
Just because of a comfort thing? Or
yeah,
what?
You're like, dude, I don't want to fight anymore. I'm embarrassed. It's hard for me to maneuver. It's unnatural.
Yeah, that's like the ultimate weapon that the army could develop. Something that could just make the enemy just defecate themselves on sight.
Instead of working on all these lasers, they should be working on dumping some kind of, I don't know how you do it, but I know there's a way out there to make people dump involuntarily.
Super concentrated coffee dart straight to the bloodstream. Boom.
Yeah. So we're talking about a robot dog. Maybe the robot dog sounds a little more inviting after you hear this story about a woman who spent thousands of dollars on veterinarian bills to try to repair her dog surgically after the dog had unbelievable and very unpleasant flatulence. It was a very disgusting smell that commonly occurred during dinner. And the woman, the owner of this dog, was very upset. She said she submitted her dog to thousands of dollars worth of surgery when it turned out that after the surgeries, it did not alleviate the problem.
What kind of surgeries are there for this?
This book is called Walter the Farting Dog. And in the very end of the book, spoiler alert, he ends up thwarting a robbery at his own house because he's so stinky with farts, and the burglars couldn't see through the fart clouds. And when they ran down the street, they had fart clouds around them still, so the cops were able to identify him.
Yeah, that is a good story, but that is not how this story turns out.
This is interesting. I didn't know that you could go to a vet multiple times to solve farting dog. I thought you just accepted the fact that you had you now were the owner of a dog. They could pretty much do whatever it wants. You know, like I find this story very odd. It's a dog. It's going to fart. It's going to do whatever dogs normally do. But now you've decided to have this dog in your house. That's your fault. And you shouldn't be running this dog through a bunch of tests and surgeries. You should just accept the fact you have a dog in your house. So this is like that poor dog was the husband should probably be having all the exact same examinations and surgeries that the dog had.
Yes. Well, it turns out that it was not the dog, that it was the husband.
Wow.
How did the guy not laugh?
He blamed the dog.
He blamed the dog so much.
Yeah.
So now, just to keep things fair, that man has to go through all the same surgeries as the dog.
Yeah. Okay.
All the same butt surgeries.
So I misspoke. Says they spent thousands of dollars on tests on the dog, and they could not find anything.
But that did include drawing blood and probably a couple things up its butt.
So they have to take this. They have to take this man, because this is ironic punishment, to the same vet and run all the same tests while TikToking live the entire a day's events of all the fart tests that now that the dog fart tests that this man has to endure.
You know, the most shocking thing
that could go viral
story is how the guy didn't laugh that whole time. Like, how do you play this straight for week after week? She took him to the doctor and he's not laughing. I mean, this guy was willing to take this all the way.
He's riddled with guilt. He's not laughing because he's just sitting there just like, I'm a terrible person. It's gone on too far.
That's what I mean. Is like at the very beginning, how is he not laughing out loud when she's like yelling at the dog?
Well, maybe they're Mormon. You know how Mormons can't fart in front of their spouses. It's a sin.
I don't know that. I gotta tell you, there's a lot of gas
one of the
passing
commandments.
Here.
Yeah, but you're not allowed to say
everyone
who it
else
was.
I know.
You blame it on your cat.
No, you always laugh.
You laugh
even at this. Oh yeah.
And then what does Liz do? Does she fart back?
She laughs too.
Does she fart?
I'm not authorized to talk about other people's flatulence. I can only talk about my own.
So
and I'm telling you that everybody else I know, when they fart, they laugh because it's hilarious for some reason that I can't explain. It's built into us. It's hardwired. Okay. So this guy is a miracle that he wasn't laughing as all of this was unfolding.
Yeah. So the wife was very upset. She was having a full-on meltdown, in her words, about that they could be losing the dog, that the dog could be very sick. Until that was the breaking point when the husband finally admitted that it was him.
There's always that tipping point where the prank's gone too far, and now to reveal the prank is going to be far worse than just trying to write it out.
I mean, dude. Danny, you'd need to get a bunch of loans to run this story because they're paying all those bills for the
thousands of dollars.
It's crazy.
Luckily,
and the guy's just sitting there the whole time like,
these people.
I'll get this.
Yeah.
And he just like pays for all of it. Just like, I got her so good.
Yeah. He's willing to pay for all the doctor's tests rather than admit.
They got to be Mormon. That's what it is. No,
there is something missing.
Also, the wife is pregnant. Also, I want to add to this story.
Oh, so it's even worse.
So that smell is just hitting her so hard. Yeah. While she's trying to eat ketchup ice cream, she can't even like enjoy it.
Is that possible that, that I know when my wife was pregnant that she had a even more acute sense of smell? Is it possible that she was picking up on things that she wouldn't have picked up on normally?
I thought you were going to say she had picked up on a pre-fart, so maybe he hadn't even farted yet. He was just thinking about farting, and she was like, "I can smell. You're probably going to fart soon." Like she could sense that.
Instinctually, she knew. Yeah,
she could smell the pre-fart.
The countdown sequence.
Yes.
As the sphincter relaxes, it emits a small odor.
Correct. Exactly right.
Yeah.
See, Danny, you get it.
He's looking uncomfortable.
Science.
Right. Okay. So the couple has reconciled. They're doing okay now.
There's something
Maybe
weird about this story.
Baby. I mean, it could have been the baby inside the tummy.
That would be a move to blame. What does that smell? Like, are you sure it's not the fetus?
Yeah. Did you feel a rumble in your tummy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it possible it's the baby farting right now? Okay. Interesting. All right. Let's talk about another story. Danny, I think that you seemed interested in talking about this one. A new study has revealed the age in which a person starts to feel old. The age when you're past your prime. And I'm happy to report that it is not an age any of us have reached.
Not yet.
That age is when people feel when they are past their prime. This is average people. Is 47.
All right. Nice to know. It's nice to know that you have a sentence. Not going to be carried out for a couple of years.
Yep.
I like to think also that we're all average, so this might apply to us. Maybe as a pro pickleballer, Tyson can extend it to 50.
Maybe 47. I'm wow. 47. Danny, Rob, you're not 42 yet.
I am.
Rob's already 42. Danny's going to be 42 in December.
Yeah.
When's your birthday again?
October. Are you a couple months older than me?
No.
Tyson's June.
Or am I?
Next
Yeah.
year.
I'm June of next
year.
year.
So young, dude.
Yeah.
He's so young.
I'm 41.
Full of energy.
The baby.
Yeah.
On the panel.
Yeah.
I'd be interesting. I've always wondered, there must be a wall that you hit at some point where you just hate it. All music sounds bad. Food tastes terrible. You go to the same restaurants, and you don't like. It's got to happen at some point. And now I'm glad I can put a number to that moment.
Yep.
47.
Now, 47. Yeah.
This was only 2,000 Americans over 40 who were spoken to.
Survey people.
This is so the average survey person feels old at 47.
They've taken a lot of surveys.
Surveys will age you too, bro. Have you ever tried to sit down and take some surveys?
Yeah. Time moves slower in the survey world.
Laurel in the comments turned 42 today.
Oh,
happy birthday.
You are an honorary member of the News AF squadron over here because the circuit of podcasters, because we are all on the cusp of being 42. Isn't that crazy that just three best friends from all different parts of the country, except for me and Danny came from the exact same part of the country, are almost identical in age? Close enough.
I just came across something absolutely horrible in this article.
Yes.
What we eat impacts what we remember.
Oh.
You see this at the very end?
Yeah. How does that link up?
What should we be eating? Walnuts?
Most people do not associate dietary choices with long-term brain health. Despite the general understanding that omega-3s are good for the brain, 80% of Americans do not get the 2 weekly servings of fatty fish recommended.
Oh, goddamn.
Fatty
More
fish.
What's the fattiest fish?
The one covered in bacon.
Blubber. The one covered in
whale.
Whale
is the
blubber
fish out there.
Except for that's a mammal.
Just kidding. It's a mammal. Yeah.
You almost felt the
died.
repercussions of the scientific.
The entire internet was
actually, spider is an animal.
On episode 600 at the 28-minute marker, Rob actually says that a whale is a fish. If everybody could get on and harass him.
Well, don't eat whale, although blubber sounded great when you said it.
What about whale tail, Danny? That's delicacy.
Maybe salmon. I mean, the bears are out there eating that by
Yeah,
the truckloads right
And
before
do bears live
hibernation.
longer than humans?
No, they don't. Well, some humans, they live longer than some. But
Sad story.
so there you go. More omegas if you want to keep that brain firing at all cylinders like Tyson's today. What did you eat? A bunch of fish yesterday, Tyson? Why are
Do
you
you
so on
think
point?
that I'm just going hard today? What's going on?
Yeah.
Everybody's complimenting me, but I'm not sure if it's like a backhanded compliment or if everybody like secretly despises me currently.
It says here that 25% of people lose their train of thought once per day. I feel like
That
I
happens
lose
to me
my
like 30 times a day, dude.
yeah, but it's not train of thought. I lose my interest in my conversation and other people's conversation and my train of thought. That's what's happening.
All at the same time.
I'm like, this doesn't matter.
Yeah. If I can't spit the thought out of my brain fast enough, I immediately forget it. And I'm like, I should have said that faster.
Over half, 58%, frequently forget people's names moments after meeting them. That can't be a sign of aging because I've been dealing with that since basically the beginning of my memory.
Tyson's very good at that.
That's
Astoundingly,
right.
38% even need a few moments to remember their significant other's birthday.
Yeah.
One of the few birthdays I do know.
Yeah. Do you know all of your children's birthdays?
I know my children and my wife and myself and nobody else.
Your parents.
Not my mom's, not my dad's, not any
You
of
don't
my
know your
siblings.
parents' birthday.
Dude,
No, I know what
Danny
month
is
they're in.
hardened, bro. He is very hardened.
I know the month, maybe,
Mm-hmm.
that their birthday's in.
Certainly not your father-in-law after that he made you get that degree.
No,
Oh,
the degree
dude.
didn't help me remember his birthday at all.
Really?
Which is crazy. No, I would have thought that getting a degree made everything better, but I don't know when his birthday is.
So they also asked the people who responded to this study about their fears. They weren't very concerned about losing their youthful looks. Only 1 in 4 was concerned with looking unattractive in their old age. But 1 in 4 was worried that they will lose touch with what's hip and cool once they're elderly.
I think that just happens, and who cares? You just have to go into it, Like,
it's not going to happen to me.
I wear white tennis shoes as dad shoes, and it's partly ironic, but also I think that's what it's not that you lose touch with what's hip and cool, is that I have found that I have become ironic, and then in my irony, I actually enjoy, like I bought cowboy boots as a joke, and I started wearing them. And everybody was complimenting me on how tall I was and how sharp I looked in the cowboy boots and what a unique, cool look it was. And then I was like, dude, these so now I started buying up cowboy boots. And now I'm doing the same thing with dad shoes. And people are like loving them. And I'm just like, eventually you just like slide right into like, into that role where all of a sudden Danny's wearing cargo shorts that meet him at the top of the calf muscle. And
yes,
probably like a SPF 50 Columbia sun shirt.
Oh, the sun shirt, sun hat, zinc oxide nose covering.
Tall white crew socks that are dingy gray.
Above the ankle hiking boots with socks also above that. Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's all on order.
Hip and cool is a state of mind. You can make it work.
You can make it work. Confidence is the number one fashion accessory. I've always said that. And if you're confident in what you are draping your body in, then you're always going to be cool to at least yourself.
By the way, that 1 in 4 worried about their looks deteriorating. Those are the really good looking people.
They've got a lot to lose.
They got more to lose.
They're very worried.
The Victoria's Secret model.
Or are they ones that that's all they've got? Like for me, I used to be super smoking hot. And also I have like this dope personality. But now that I've kind of settled into age and I'm not as hot as I was, I almost feel that I have more personality than I had, or at least have honed it in a little bit.
Yeah, your face has more personality too.
With all the wrinkles.
Tells the story.
Of a hardened life.
A life lived hard.
It's a sad story. Yeah.
Okay. See?
Yeah,
Perfect.
save that for Bergen's next bedtime.
Okay. And it was not sad. I don't care. I mean, look at this personality,
Mhm.
Everybody's jealous of that.
Yeah.
A ray of sunshine.
Now,
Yeah.
Tyson, you
Mhm.
have long desired to win the lotto, correct? You used to
course.
play the lotto.
I'll play today if you want me to.
Well, I'm just saying that's not the only way to have a sudden windfall, as one Indonesian coffin maker learned when a $1.8 million estimated worth space rock crashed through his roof.
Dude. Yeah, I actually
The
know
meteorite, the
I
size
know
of
a guy who-
football.
the size of a football.
Yeah.
I know guys that go out and hunt meteors, and I should do that. Let's see. Mega
so
Millions is at 176 million. Definitely playing that. Next drawing is tonight. I'll go get those ticks. Let me
Mhm.
check Powerball real quick.
I definitely get anxious for guys like this
Why?
because he suddenly came across 1.8 million of space.
You think he has a monkey paw?
He's in Indonesia.
Mhm.
He's probably not the richest person or in the richest neighborhood. So I'm like, dude, keep it a secret, bro, until
Yeah.
you have that cash in
But
hand.
maybe
and
he already sold it.
move. Well, the pictures of him holding the rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
I just
Man,
get
don't
worried between the moment where he finds it to the moment where he has the cash in hand and he can flee his poverty. It's like I'm super anxious that the guy's not going to get what he deserves.
Yeah. Even after he sells the meteorite, he still has the 1.8 million in
He's got to
cash.
get out of there.
Yeah.
That's step one. You've got to move.
Is holding on to the meteorite though going to increase its value?
Well, it probably proves that you can actually hold it. So
Mhm.
it doesn't turn your arm into a shriveling, burning, crispy chunk of human flesh, from radiation or
Yeah.
something.
The meteorite was bought by a American collector who has it stored in liquid nitrogen at the
And how
Center
much did
for
he buy it
Meteorites.
for?
1.8
cool.
million.
Dang,
Okay.
dude.
I hope
Do you
this
think
guy
that
got
they
out.
opened with that? Do you think that they started with like 1.5 million? He's like, no, 1.8.
No, I think they said 1.8 and he said done. And now they're going to flip it for like $75
Yeah, they
billion.
should have opened at like $600.
Well, what market are you going to get the value of this meteorite?
Who was bidding against him?
Man, I don't know.
Probably
But
this
at
guy's
some
best
point,
friend.
like if I had a football-sized meteorite that crashed through my house and somebody was like, I'll give you $600 for that, I'd be like, no. I mean, I'd at least have to
All right,
get
800.
what the damage of the house was worth. And by that time, I will have talked to enough people to figure out that
Yeah.
thing is worth a chunk of cash.
Here's the cool thing about this rock. To the very
Yeah.
end of the article, the meteorite is classified as CM1/2.
Of course it is. Yes.
Carbonaceous chondrite, an extremely rare variety which scientists believe contains unique amino acids and other primordial elements necessary for the sparking of life itself. That sounds cool. You're holding it in your hand.
This is
the
like the
spark
opening of
life.
Jurassic Park.
No.
Alien Jurassic Park.
This is like the opening of what was that movie called where they showed like the beginning of humanoids?
It starts with a P.
Prometheus.
Prometheus, yeah. This is that.
Yeah.
This is a rock, like the guy makes
Yeah.
tea out of, drink and turn himself into the whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this could be turned into a really bad Ridley Scott movie.
Yeah.
But if a meteorite came crashing through my house, my first problem with that would be, is it radioactive? Because
Yeah.
material coming from space could have all sorts of problems. Remember, Tyson, you were going to apply to work for NASA Biological Defense. We talked about that, where
Mhm.
you try and thwart the dangers that come from debris, just like this.
Yeah,
Man,
I
you
do
know what I'm
remember applying for that job.
Alien goo that,
Yep.
all of a sudden you've got something bursting out of your chest.
Yeah, mouthful of
scary.
alien goo. And
Mhm.
yeah. I
By
get
the way,
it.
the cost to repair the roof, considering in this picture, his roof is just a piece of sheet metal. I think probably estimate around like $30.
So you gotta put that into the 1.8
But it's
million.
also on the
That's not
Indonesian
real.
market, so it could be even
Mhm.
cheaper than that.
Could be.
So what he made overall from this is $1.7,900,970.
Cleaned up.
That's a good
Real.
profit.
And he went from being a coffin maker to a millionaire.
He's
So
got to
he-
get out there, and he should
Only in
drop
Indonesia.
either.
Yeah. Okay.
So he's not still making coffins for the love.
I don't know if he loves doing it. Okay. This is an interesting story that I just saw. So I don't want to set off people's home-enabled devices, but you know that Amazon thing that you can ask questions to?
Alexa.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Apparently now it can guess what you want before you ask for it.
Yeah, that's where we knew that's where this was all going.
Tyson, is that similar to a pre-fart?
Yeah, it's kind of similar to a pre-fart where it senses your desires, where it's just like
vocal quiverings and hormonal pheromone releases.
where it's like, Danny, your biotin, it's on its way. And he's like, how did you know I want to grow my hair out again? It's like, I sensed it from your haircut.
Yeah. What they're working on is when you ask it a question that it's trying to already think of your natural follow-up question for the information you already requested. Yeah,
that's what we do. Yeah.
That's what humans do anyways, where it's like, Danny, what do you want for lunch? You can say it slow, Danny.
So Alexa will have
hot soup.
So Alexa will have the power to do what my wife thinks I have the power to do. And that is to guess what she's about to say or is feeling or thinking.
Yes.
That's
no,
nice.
but I don't think Alexa's going to be like, Liz, I can tell you're mad at Danny because he didn't lift the toilet seat 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, but if Liz asks the Amazon-enabled device, like, what are some good divorce attorneys in town? Like maybe, like, oh, did Danny do something now?
I wish Alexa would work for me and know or sense when Liz is upset at me and know what it is she's upset about, and then send her the appropriate response: flowers, chocolates,
From
maybe
you?
hire a babysitter from me. Like I'm the one
Dude,
doing it. That's how Alexa can work.
Why don't we invent our own Alexa, call it something else, and do this exact thing that you're talking about?
I got a guy.
Tank.
I got a guy with $1.8 million looking to invest.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have funding.
Okay. Perfect.
Okay.
That
So-
guy has none of that money anymore. It is all gone.
I
Yeah.
hope not.
He invested in Quibi. Very sad story. So, Danny, you want to invent something that would be some sort of a marriage helper?
I don't want to invent anything new. I'm saying if Alexa has this power, I want to utilize it to benefit myself. And the way I can do that, if it's reading and knowing all these things about people without them saying it, well, then to use that to my advantage, I wanted to understand her issues.
This is what happens.
Solve them and give me credit.
It measures the tone of her voice when she asks Alexa something. And if the tone of her voice is that of displeasement, it sends something from Danny that says, hey, babe, I can sense you're a little stressed right now. Here,
Exactly.
I love you. And so it's like super generic, covers everything. And it can be whatever. It could be anything from flowers to chocolates to what else does Liz like?
Babysitters.
Babysitter.
A night out with friends. And the best part is it can ask the follow-up question without the sarcasm that I would ask the follow-up question, which is the biggest problem is how I ask questions. I do ask, I think, kind of the right questions, just don't ask them the right way.
Yeah, you're definitely patronizing.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, very much so.
The problem is that they have not exactly nailed this down. For instance, one of their initial prototypes that they had, a person asked, do you have any recipes for chicken? And then it would get ready with a follow-up question. Do you want me to play chicken sounds?
That's just a little off. That's close.
No, I mean, I think if you are prepping a chicken for consumption, it is nice to be in touch
Get
with
in the head of the
nature.
chicken. Yeah.
Get in the head of the chicken while also surrounding yourself with
The
all things
animal will
chicken.
be less afraid when you're playing natural, soothing
Then
sound.
it will relax and it be an extra succulent piece of meat.
Yeah, you don't want your meat to be stressed out before you terminate it.
No.
So
I
that's
think
a
that,
well-known.
yeah, I think the chicken's already terminated, but I mean,
It sounded like when you were telling your story of what was happening, it
somebody
sounded
had
like it
a
was still
chicken
alive.
in the
in
sink,
their house. Yeah, and it was
Yeah.
like play some
a full
soothing.
chicken.
So it thinks it's surrounded by friends and
Yeah.
family.
Well, so
Okay.
the chicken language, we don't know. Maybe like it was playing like, you're okay. Nothing's going to happen to you. Just relax. The more you relax, the less will happen. And then, man, dude, Robots are destroying everything
Mhm.
biological, and this is just at the start of it.
Wow. The circuit of robot dogs are going to be not our friends.
Not our friends. Alexa's taking out the chickens, it sounds like.
Mhm.
We're donezo.
Okay. One more story before we get to Danny's bolt hole. Pope Francis has seemingly gotten himself into some hot water as he has his account has allegedly liked an image of a Instagram model who is showing off a very robust derriere.
Awesome.
This is, and Rob pointed this out, that listeners had already pointed this out. This is just like what we were talking about. Do you think the Pope is actually walking around with an iPhone, taking pictures and posting things? No, he's got some, he's past 47, so he's got some young person who's in tune. Seems like it could be a guy
in tune. Yeah.
kind of in tune with the society, all of its all the cultural issues he doesn't want to have to deal with.
Yeah.
And this guy just forgot to switch back from his
personal account,
Pope account, to his personal account. Both start with a P. Very confusing.
Pope and personal.
Yeah. So he's like, oh, dude, I just like that from the Pope account.
Yeah. So the woman in question, Natalia Garabato, I guess is Italian, that she posted a picture of herself on her Instagram, and over the 133,000 likes that her image received, one of them was from the account of Pope Francis. Now, interestingly, she is wearing some sort of a version of some alternative Catholic schoolgirl's uniform, Danny.
So there is a connection to Catholicism.
Yeah, is there a hashtag Catholic? Was that maybe so on the image?
Just auto like.
Yeah.
Maybe this is just the cool Pope, and he's trying to show how cool he is and that he's in touch with social media, etc. And I think didn't Jesus have something to say about prostitutes or something, where he was just like, love everybody?
I see where you're going there, Tyson. But again, I highly doubt this was the Pope.
I think whatever the Pope's account is, he should just be liking as much stuff. Like, that's what the Pope's account should be doing, just to boost everybody's esteem, is like every single thing that pops up on the feed.
I think if I read this correctly in this story, she actually does use, she weaponizes the Pope's like to justify her style of life to her mom. Like, hey, the Pope is liking my stuff. I must be doing something right.
Yeah, I don't see the hashtag Catholic. I thought that maybe that might be, So wait,
are you guys both on the post right now liking it up?
No, I didn't like it. Unlike the Pope, I'll get in trouble if I like this Instagram photo.
But I mean, internally.
I would like
internally. Yeah, internally, I'll be getting some word from Alexa if my wife goes on
I know
her
you like that
feed.
picture, Rob.
Yeah.
Would you like me to like? I've liked it for you.
And I've also sent flowers to your wife on your behalf.
Your pupils dilated and the blood flow circulation changed.
And my response would be, honey, I'm supporting our Pope.
Yeah, our Pope. Why can't?
The Pope liked it.
I would like to think, or at least imagine, that the Pope is sitting there on his phone, just scrolling, on some downtime through Instagram.
Not even on downtime. While
the Cardinals are blabbing on and on.
While the Cardinals are pouring their sins into his ear, and he's just like, yeah, Yep.
He's like, I'm on my phone. You guys keep talking. I'll be here. I'm looking up scriptures.
Tweenager, you say? I'm gonna like this photo. Yeah.
All right.
This only goes to show that you really should be responsible for your own Instagram accounts if it is tied to you. So,
but he's still the Pope, right? He didn't get fired or anything.
No, I mean, they unliked the post.
They did.
Wow.
That's even worse.
No longer there.
That's even worse, dude.
Yeah.
So
former like from the
then
Pope.
That's admitting guilt. Like, oh, they caught me.
rather than owning it. Like, yeah, I like this. So what? He
Yeah.
says that in his next Vatican speech.
I mean, do you think that, okay, just to do some next level news AF thinking, was this all just a stunt to
Publicity?
get people to follow the Pope on Instagram? Did anyone even know the Pope had an Instagram?
No, how
I
many
didn't.
followers does he have?
I'm going to look it up right now because I am curious.
And
I
is he
hadn't thought about
verified? Do we know that this is the legit
Okay.
Pope account?
Yes.
I bet he has millions of followers.
No, he has
already.
he has 7.3 million followers.
He's getting all those influencer
Instagram.
deals.
Yep.
Do not tell him about pickleball.
He is Francis CUS.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 7.3 million followers. And how about this for a flex, Tyson? Following zero.
Those guys.
God follows no one.
Yeah.
That's I imagine that. Yeah, that's kind of mean, but okay. Look at this. Subscribe. All right.
That is mean.
Okay.
So you're following him now?
No.
Oh, I'm not either.
Yeah.
He has enough.
Does he have some killer stories?
It's all videos.
Yeah.
It's all
Probably
videos.
speeches in Italian.
Italian,
or
yeah,
whatever he's doing.
Yeah.
There's captions though. All right.
Let's see
There
how
you
many. Let's see how many likes he gets on something.
A lot.
On his photos he only has like over 100,000, which is a lot, but for 7.3 million, I bet a lot of people's tithes and offerings are going to buying followers to this account.
You think the Pope is buying followers?
Yeah, to be more
No.
popular. 165,000 likes on a 7 million follower account does not add up.
That's the modern world when it comes to Instagram. He's not dumping Vatican gold for followers.
That does not add up. 200,000 likes, that doesn't add up. It definitely is not correct. You should be having
maybe this was the stunt to try to in addition to buying followers, that he's getting a lot of organic press for liking
You should have
photo.
You should have 5 to 10% interaction on some of your stronger posts, and he's only getting 200,000 likes when he should be getting closer.
Whoa, it sounds like you should be advising. So, #1 pickleball influencer and advisor to the Pope on social media.
He should be getting closer to 400 to 700,000 likes on a photo.
You've just put the Vatican on notice, Tyson.
Yeah.
On
Well,
blast.
for instance, Nataja Ta on Instagram on her posts that she has only, but how many followers here? 2.3 million followers, less than the Pope. She has 300,000 comments on a recent video.
Comments, but how many likes on a photo? Go to a photo.
How many likes on a photo?
Yep.
100,000 likes on this photo.
Okay.
100,000 on another one.
The Pope would argue that this is just a sign of
videos
times.
are getting more likes than photos, Tyson.
Oh, okay, fine.
Okay. There you go.
Well,
Danny, you ready to take us to your bolt hole?
Bolt hole time. Lots of
Okay.
lots of the bolt hole.
let's
All right, here we go.
dig in.
Danny's bolt hole.
Welcome to my bolt hole. I think you're gonna like it. I think you're gonna feel you belong.
Yes.
That guy, this isn't, I had a bunch of stories, and this one I'm just going to do, one of them I'm just going to do the headline of. And that guy who made 1.8 million from his space rock almost has enough to buy himself a nice Belgian racing pigeon, because the
racing pigeon,
the highest price ever paid for a Belgian racing pigeon, $1.9 million.
Yeah, but he doesn't have to get the most expensive racing pigeon. Can he just get like?
Why would you want anything else but the nicest racing pigeon? $1.9 million. Could you imagine you're raising pigeons, which it's got to be disgusting. And it sounded in the article like a ton of work.
I had a friend growing up who had a couple different, what are they called? Batches of racing pigeons.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And he had
Is pigeon racing a big deal?
So it used to be. It's huge.
He bought
When?
He bought the lot next door to his house, built a pigeon coop, and you could go in the pigeon coop and there'd be like hundreds of pigeons in there. And he'd send them off in waves. You drive them up somewhere all blindfolded and stuff and take them up and drop them off and see how long it takes them to get back to the coop.
So pigeon racing used to be really big, and I guess that it at least in this article, it peaked sometime around the First or Second World War, and then it's been in great decline. So, Second World War, 250,000 members of the Pigeon Fancier Federation, but now they're down to 18,000. Now we know that in the Middle East they love falcons, right? Another birds
So
kind of like
you
falcons.
have the pigeons compete with the falcons for supreme
Don't mix
dominance?
it. What I'm saying is don't mix it too. They've got that going. They're flying falcons around on private jets. And it seems like the Chinese are taking over the pigeon market. And so every country's jumping for their bird. And the pigeons it's exploding. Like, put all your money into pigeons is what I'm saying. I think Tyson would back me up on that. So dump it all into pigeons. I don't know, choose wisely which coop or whatever you're going
But I
to
don't think
invest
one pigeon. I think you take your chances at buying a few pigeons and breeding them and then seeing if you can create a super pigeon.
Well, I mean, you just need
a robot pigeon.
Eventually, that's where we're headed.
You could call to Boston Dynamics. I mean, there's a lot of
Philadelphia
reputable sites that say that birds actually already are robots and that the government uses birds to watch us because birds aren't real. And you can do your own research on that, but any reputable news source will maintain that.
By the way, here at the end of the article, there's a quote from a pigeon fancier. I guess that's what I'm going to call him.
Yeah,
and he
that's what they're
says,
called cat fanciers. That's also what they're called.
Anybody thinking about getting into our sport to get money out of it, better think again and move to another sport. Exactly what someone would say when things are blowing up.
Bunch of money.
A ton of money. Like, hey, you can't do it for the love of the sport. Don't do it.
Or is he reverse psychologying us where we're now assuming there's money in it and we're going to get in the opposite. Got to get in right now, dumping all my cash in there.
Could you imagine having a $1.9 billion pigeon? I mean, I don't know how you know, and you're doing 1.9 million and you're racing it. I mean, that's got to be nerve wracking to let that thing loose at one destination and hope it shows up and doesn't.
You already know that if you have a pigeon that's $1.9 million, you have enough cash that does not matter to you.
Scared pigeon money doesn't make money, Danny.
Exactly.
That's true. Got to take risks.
And for all we know, for all we know, this guy's using the Colonel's secret recipe on this pigeon at the end of the day. You know,
so at this auction, they sold 445 birds and brought in $7 million.
No money in it.
But don't get into pigeons if you're in it for the money.
Get into pigeons. Yeah.
So that's some sound investment advice.
I
was going to talk about that for that long. Just shocking that there's so much money in pigeons.
How long
Did you have
were you
another
talk
story
about it for?
you wanted to talk about?
Only 5 minutes.
Yeah, I was going to talk about Smeat. Remember?
More about Smeat. Yeah.
I love talking about Smeat. It's on par with robots, robot dogs.
You threatened to take me to a Smeat restaurant in China, and then you never did.
Smeat's expensive. You have to have a lot of money, but it sounds like
an unrefined palate.
Well, this group of scientists and designers are working on the ability to grow your own steak at home.
Yes. Synthetic meat for any of our new listeners.
We have a garden box already set up for this.
Yes. Well, you use your own human cells. And this is why this story
use your own human cells.
Yes. This is why the story is in the news.
I don't like that. So I don't like the start of it.
Grow your own steak kit using human cells and blood. So you can grow some delicious homemade meat and have it just a little taste of yourself. They say it's not, in the article, they say it's not cannibalism because you're using cow fetal cells or tissue as well.
I'm vegetarian now. Sorry.
But I'm just saying that this is the future. You can be able to just like prick your finger, put it on a petri dish in an hour, have a delicious.
You think it's only going to take an hour? 16 ounce?
16 ounce ribeye.
Can you do a bone in? Do you think you could do a bone in ribeye? Or can you only grow boneless?
I bet both options are available. So I don't know why it needs your stuff, because it also uses what they call, and this sounds delicious, fetal bovine serum.
Adam Katz in the chat says this doesn't sound synthetic anymore. I have to agree. This sounds completely unsynthetic when you're eating your own cells mixed with a cow's own cells. I don't know why this is better.
I call all meat that doesn't come from like a cow raised in the fields as synthetic. So the SMEAT might not apply to this one. I don't know. But it's just kind of in the SMEAT world.
What do you mean you call all meat synthetic?
No. I mean, like all these futuristic meats that we can grow at home, I just put under the SMEAT label.
Okay.
Which is a
So
synthetic
I don't
meat.
look into whether or not it actually meets some kind of qualification.
Yeah. I actually got very disgusted when you told me you had to prick your own finger and give them your own
No,
cells.
it's a swab and you collect cheek cells. So I made up the.
That's worse. That's definitely worse than whatever I
and
had
it uses
envisioned.
pre-grown scaffolds from mushroom mycelium for growing it.
That doesn't sound terrible.
But I think that you're going to have people who are going to then now like get a taste for human flesh that did not know they liked it before.
And then all of a sudden you're like
on the prowl looking.
All of a sudden we're sitting here doing the
what if it's
podcast. I'm
really,
like, Danny,
really
what
good?
happened to your finger? And you're like, oh no, nothing. I lost it. It was frostbite. And you're like, it's summer. And don't stop asking me about it. Come to find out, you're eating yourself slowly because you find yourself so delicious.
So this article from Mysterious Universe, if you want to look it up, it says here at the end that no lab-grown meat has been approved for sale anywhere, but it's bound to happen soon since the market is expected to be worth $500 million by 2025. So
what
you
are
take
you
all
doing?
that pigeon money, put it into SMEAT, just time it all right, boom.
So are you getting celebrities to swab? Is that the steak you're buying, the SMEAT, when you're just like,
That's
here's
a
a
great
Jared
Hi,
Leto swab
I'm Jeffrey
steak.
Dahmer, and I love SMEAT.
A Leto steak.
A Leto steak, dude. McConaughey steak. We could do News AF steaks. They'd be cheaper than Leto steaks, but still delicious. And it's just a
awesome
combination of a swab of all three of us.
Have you
in
ever
steak
wanted
form.
to taste sizzling Tyson meat in your mouth?
Mhm.
And now's your chance. Get a Tyson steak delivered direct to you, grown in his own living room from fetal bovine serum.
So I have to do the growing. So I just have now we have a dedicated room in all of our houses to grow our own steaks.
Yeah, and it's a dark room, and it's
And it
kind of
smells
scary.
like iron.
Children are terrified. Like I didn't go into my parents' fetal bovine serum room until.
Is it worse than the clock room?
It's worse than a clock room, but it's about on par with like a snake breeder's snake room.
It's got like pulsating trays of meat underneath like growth lights. Yeah, it's everything you can imagine.
And the pulsating for some reason makes a sound, which makes it because you have it on like crinkly paper where it's like curling.
Got to get ready for Memorial Day, big barbecue.
Think about this. How interesting would it be to find out which of our meats taste better by a blind meat taste test from viewers? Be like, order all three of our meats, and you let us know which one you like the most. And then
I've been told my meat tastes pineapple-y.
Yeah, who knows? I'm sure you've got some tropical flavor in there. You love Hawaii so much.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is a future. If you don't like it, Rob, if you don't like this future,
and do you think that they can make hot dogs even more synthetic than they already are, or those have already peaked in syntheticness?
So yeah, hot dogs were the original SMEAT.
Okay.
And they're just improving upon it.
Can David Klein do a pitch for SMEATs?
Imagine if you'd taken all that Quibi money and put it into SMEAT. It would have had a better return on investment.
Not yet. We don't know yet.
Not yet, but it sounds like in 2025, it's just going to kick over and all of a sudden just.
Yeah, but Danny, SMEAT is not a great name. That could the guy who came up with the name for Jelly Belly rebrand SMEAT?
Oh, for sure.
Let's hear it.
Well, I can't. Guys, come on.
He's going to go into it. I can tell. I can tell he's going to go into it.
To Jelly Belly. No, I'm not going to go into it.
I feel we're on the cusp.
I have a haircut now, Tyson. I have a haircut now. I'm wearing a collared shirt.
You're serious.
I don't do impersonations on demand anymore.
Really? At all?
At all. I've grown up.
I have a haircut now. Yeah.
I've had a lot of people comment on our North American Sledding Alliance videos recently, which is crazy. Like somebody commented, was like, "Hey, I'm just here in 2020, no big deal." And we made those videos like 12 years ago.
So long ago.
Yeah.
Good.
What is the North American Sledding Alliance?
Yeah, Tyson and I did started a club and made some
NASA?
educational.
Yeah, NASA. You know, NASA.
We call it NASA.
Yeah.
And instructional videos on sledding
For adults.
for adults.
Yeah.
Because sledding is such a kid thing, right? We
You
needed
think.
to inform, educate, and give confidence to adult sledders.
And Danny does on version 2 of the video, Danny does an old woman voice.
Yes.
Which is so good. Yeah.
Tyson, let me
NAASA is how you search it on YouTube, I think.
before we wrap up, have you given any thought to Fleet, which is the new disappearing tweet functionality?
Is that a real? What is that? Is that a third
Yeah,
party thing?
basically it's like Instagram stories for Twitter.
Oh, but that's going to be like a new thing
Yeah,
on Twitter.
yeah.
Well, then I don't have to
Call
go.
it a Fleet.
Then I don't have to go through and erase all my own tweets by myself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Like it. Yeah.
the story.
Oh, it's a story, but is it a written story like a tweet, or is it a video
No, it's
story
like
like a
I
video?
think it. Let's see. I'm not sure if it is a video. Fleets can be customized with text, reactions to tweets, various background options, or photos and videos. So I think it's anything you could do in a regular tweet.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So it'd be really good for subtweeting.
Yeah, I guess so.
Mm-hmm.
I like anything that disappears over time,
Yeah.
but I thought that you could just put that as a setting on your tweets where it was just like this tweet will expire in 30 days and everything gets erased. That's what I would want.
Multiple tweets.
Yeah. Should
That's
the
what I want.
screenshots of those tweets blow up also?
Yes. They should explode any device that took that screenshot.
Yeah. All right. Danny, what's next for you?
Just living life at full speed, I guess, until I hit that brick wall at 47.
You still got a few good years.
I got all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
And it's not over. It just feels like it's over.
Yeah. So then from 47 until for the next 40 years, it's just, I wonder what it's like.
People are saying this function's already out there.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
How do I access it?
I bet we don't know yet.
Oh, nobody knows how to do that yet.
We don't know how to do it yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like there's other apps that have already done this, and
Mhm.
I don't know that Twitter's ahead of the game,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm on Netflix now. P.S. WB in the comments did say that. I think it's heroes versus villains, though, so it's not like me, but it's okay. Better than nothing, I guess.
Yeah, Danny, will you start binge watching Survivor seasons now that they're on Netflix?
But not
Only
all of
two
them
of
are on
them.
Netflix.
Only two of them.
Only
Only
Heroes of
Tyson and Survivor Heroes versus Villains.
Correct.
Oh, okay. So that one, right? Tyson's in that one.
So that's
Yeah.
that's manageable. You could binge those two.
But I'm only in one of them, so you only really need to watch one of them.
That's
and
what
it's
I'm
only
saying.
for like
Yeah.
4 or 5 episodes, so that's pretty easy.
Then I'm out.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's when the season ends, as far as I'm concerned. The finale. So,
Tyson,
yes.
what about you? What about you? What's next for you?
I have a private game night coming up tonight, which is pretty fun. They're always really fun. It's somebody's birthday. And I do a
Yes.
Zoom party games with the group on and online. I guess I already said Zoom, but then I said online, so now I'm feeling redundant
Mhm.
in my vocabulary. And then tomorrow we are doing our same Rob versus Tyson trivia and rewatch of Tokenchine's episode 8, maybe. It's
Well,
getting
okay,
close.
you're past the merge.
Getting close to the season finale. No, I'm
Yeah.
not past the merge. We skipped episode 6 to 7 yesterday or last week because 6 they used to do those recap shows in the middle.
Recap? Yeah.
Yeah, and even though the recap show was mostly about me, Boston
it.
Rob did not want to watch it,
Yeah.
so we skipped it.
I'm not watching a recap.
Yeah, so then we skipped it, and so now I think we're on 7. I think we're on 8, and not much longer till the season finale. Because as you know, every season I'm on, when I get voted out, that's the finale.
Yeah. I hope Joe's knee is okay.
I hope so too. I don't remember how that plays out.
Yeah. All right. And then we'll be back next week with more News AF. Thanksgiving week coming up. We'll see if there's any Thanksgiving stories coming up. Until then, have a good one, everybody. Take care. Bye.
We did it, guys.